So now we have a new objective, which is to use the refresh tokens and then generate a new access token for the user, as we explained in the previous videos. So our objective gonna consist of actually getting the refresh token first. We're gonna go to the route that we have the refresh token there. We're gonna verify if it does exist. So if it doesn't exist, then we stop. Then you are unauthorized. There's nothing gonna go after that. But if it does exist, we're gonna take that refresh token, verify it, that means decode it to actually get the user ID from it, and then we'll use that ID to go to the database, look for that user. If it does exist, then we will continue. If it doesn't, we stop you there. So let's say if it does exist, what we will do, now we will generate a new access token for you, and then we'll send it back as we've done with the register and login process. So it is actually quite a nice workflow. So let's go back. First of all, I want to go back to my routes and into the auth route. And let me zoom out a bit. So for the refresh token, I'm going to make this lowercase, as in the routes that we used right here was lowercase in the refresh token. So I just want to keep it the same. So this was, we used the gets to actually get the cookie, but now I'm going to use post to refresh the access token. Okay, so let me go to this function here. So what I'm going to do is go const and then refresh token, and what we will do is going to go to the request and then the cookies, and then we'll look for the refresh token that we have there. Okay, and refresh token. So if it doesn't exist, so if there is no refresh token, so that means we're going to throw an error. So throw and then create an HTTP error, and then it's going to be unauthorized. Okay, so you don't have the right to do this, and we'll say please log in, like that, and simply destroy this, as we already logged out the last time. So I have no cookies right here in this route. Now let me try and use the post request right here, and let me send. So when I send, you'll see right here, please log in, because we don't have any cookies set in the beginning. So to make sure that now I am logged in, I have to go log in again. So when I log in again, if I went to my refresh token, now it's already exists in the route. To make sure that it exists, you can just go get, and you will find, okay, it does exist. So now if I send again, I will not get the error. Okay, sorry, this is a post request. So if I send again, I will not get that error. So everything is going to keep going, and I'm not going to get the error that says, please log in. Okay, so let's continue. So now that we know that this refresh token exists, we will continue. So now we have to do a check, and the check is simply to verify the token. We got it, but we need to verify to extract the informations. So I'm going to go const check. Let's call this check, for example, and we'll go await, and let's create a function that is called verify token. For example, we had the generate token, so maybe we'll create a verify token function that takes the refresh token and also the secret. So the secret is process.env.refresh token secret, and let me go and create this function. So I'm gonna go to my services. So for the token services, I'm gonna go right here and I'm gonna export and then const, and let's create this verify token. It's an asynchronous function that takes the token and also the secret here, and all it does, it just does a check, which is going to be also asynchronous. So await, and then we'll do verify. Let's create this function. We're just going to create it, verify, and then it takes the token and also the secret, and then we will return the check. So if it does exist, it will return the informations after decoding it. If not, it's gonna return nothing. That means there is no verifying going on. So it's like expired or something. So I'm gonna take this verify function, and I'm gonna go to my utils again, to my token utils. So also we're gonna make it asynchronous. So I'm just gonna go export and then const verify, and it's an asynchronous function that takes the token and then also the secret. And let's go. So we've done this before, you know the drill, new promise, and this promise has resolve and then rechecked. Okay, so I'm gonna use the gwt.verify function, and this verify function takes the token and then also the secret, and then it returns up the error if there's an error, and also the payload there. And what we can do with that is simply, if we have error, we're just gonna go resolve null. So I'm gonna return null because that's what we want to do. Because right here, when we return the check, I want to return none if it, it didn't verify it. And that's the point. And you can console log always the error. So you always, if you want to know what's exactly going on, we're not gonna send that to user. Okay, you don't want to send this type of error to the user itself. Like you're gonna say, oh, there's a problem with the GWT. No, the user doesn't know what the GWT is. So if you're not be able to do this, we're gonna see unauthorized. But for me, as I am the developer, I can actually log in the error. So you always don't send errors that's supposed to be for you, the developer, and not the user. So here, if everything is all right, we're just gonna resolve the payload right here. So this is the payload. Simply is gonna be the user ID. All right, so it doesn't seem bad at all. So I'm gonna go to verify and import it from the utils. And then I have to go back to my controllers and then also import this. Let me go to the top. We've actually been able to. All right. So now that we verify, we can actually, let me zoom out a little bit. We can console log the check. Okay. So actually, I don't want to console log. Let me send it just to see it there. So let's send the check. So now we know this user is actually logged in. So we'll be able to verify. And as long, because we know it's not expired. So right here, let me send. So look what I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get the informations that I actually put in that GWT, which was the user ID, if you remember, and that is the user ID 7F. As if we looked in the last time, this is the user ID 7F. So it does work, and also it returns us some information like expires at. Okay, so yeah, it is working, and that is, very, very good progress. So now we have to continue with this. So after checking, and we know now, not checking, what am I saying? Don't worry about it. So now we can actually get the user by using await, and we will use a function. Let's create that, like, maybe I can create this function in these services. Let's call it find user, which we use to find a certain user, okay? By using the check, for example, .id, which is the user ID that we have. So let me go and create this find user. Let me close everything to the right. And let me go to my services. And this one is not for auth, this is for user. So let me go and create user service.js. And then the same thing, we have to go export and then const and then find user, which is going to be an asynchronous function that it takes the user ID. So user ID, sorry, what is going to ID right there? So this is simply, let me import the model. So import, we're just gonna go import the user model. So user model from, and we will have to go to our models and then the index.js. And now I can find the user. So how are we gonna find that? We're gonna go const user and then we're gonna use await, and then we're gonna use the user model dot find by ID. Okay, and then we'll use that user. What is the user ID? User ID. And that way we can look for that user if it does exist. We always check if this user does not exist. So if there is no user, we throw an error. So create HTTP error. And then this is not found. So we can just send a bad request. Totally fine. And we'll see. I will say something like, I don't know, like, because we didn't add please. The thing is right here, because when you want to find an ID, I want to throw it, but when you think, but this is going to be for us or for the user, that's what you got to think about. Maybe you can say please fill all fields, okay? Maybe that's exactly showing that you didn't add the user ID or something. And if everything went all right, we're just going to return the user. And that's it. I gotta go back now and use this find user function right here. Let's say that we find the user. So what we have to do now is actually generate the access token. Okay, that's what we have to do, and then send this back to the user. We don't need to generate any refresh token or nothing. Okay, it is done. The refresh token already exists. Okay, so unless it's expired, but it's not. So that's why I can just go return and then create an access token, and the user ID is gonna be the actual user. So sorry, let me take this user here, and then I can use the user dot underscore ID, and we're going to use the access token secrets. So now when I need to send back to the user, it just simply response.json. Let's take this, and I want to return what I'm gonna return in a message here. I gotta return just the access token and the informations of that user, and this way we will be able to take the refresh token and generate a new access token for us. So let me show you. So now let me send again. Okay, so it says please fill all fields. All right, so let me see. So user, we're gonna use always find user with the check dot, sorry, it's not ID because it was called user ID. Okay, that's what we had in the GWT. And let me send again. All right, it's done, and we get the access token right here, please. So let me go to the top. You can see we have the new access token and also the informations of that user. So yeah, we always have a new access token. And I feel like after doing all of this, no, this is the full authentication process. It was that simple, you know. It took us a little bit of time, but if you really went, you know, step by step with me, I think now you understand authentication way better than all the other boring, you know, courses on authentication. We really didn't give it much time and didn't focus for it, even though the idea of this project is to create a WhatsApp clone, but I have to teach you about authentication, you know, authentication. I keep saying authentication. So I'm trying my best to give you value and understand all the concepts that really not only focus about our objective, but things that is necessary for you to learn in this project, but also in all of other projects. So now, whenever you have a new project, take this authentication flow and apply it to your project. And now you have a strong, secure, you know, the access and refresh token flow. I hope you enjoyed this part and see you in the next one.